Talk a little bit about, as we were just saying off camera, kind of how this involvement came about with Damon and how you contacted Damon and how now, you know, after a couple of years, you and Damon are finally in the same place at the same time doing an actual event. Just kind of give me a brief clip notes of what we just discussed.
Right. Well, a few years ago, you know, I saw Damon online with the celebrity boxing going, and I was an actor and a fighter at the time, so I thought, you know, the way you come up is you make some noise. I called out Canseco, emailed him wanting to fight Canseco, but at the time I owned my own MMA promotion. So the weekend Damon would do an event, I would either have my own show going, or I was in the military and I would have drill, or I would get, you know, something going on. So we were never able to make it work. And then I went off and did another tour, was gone for 8 or 9 months, got sick, got hurt, just thought I would never do anything like this again, and I moved to Miami, and now I find out Damon's doing shows in Miami. So out of the blue, I emailed him, and he said, well, Canseco's out, but I would like to do something with you. So a long circle, but you know, it took a couple of years, but I'm finally in the Celebrity Boxing Federation, so I'm pretty happy.
What would be your fighting background, if you will? Kind of describe to me what you've done throughout the years that would involve anything fighting, whether it be boxing, wrestling, MMA.
Sure, long before we had mixed martial arts, we had karate. You know, everybody in the 80s, 70s, 80s, I grew up on Don Wilson, Chuck Norris. So I went in the military right out of high school, went overseas, so I took a lot of, well, now we would call full contact karate, you know, Ishinryu and all of that. So there wasn't a lot of groundwork back then, you know, and so that was my background, and I've trained extensively in that. Where I'm from in Alabama, there's an Olympic bronze medal winning boxer. I've trained at that gym some in my stand-up. So I've got, I guess, a diverse martial arts background. You know, I've trained in Aikido, I've trained in Jiu-Jitsu, I've trained, master of no art, but familiar with most is what I like to call it. You know, I see a lot of guys that spend all their time in Jiu-Jitsu, and that's great till you get smashed in the face, you know. And I see a lot of guys who are great boxers, and it's really good till you get kicked in the leg about 4 times. So you really have to be versatile in this sport. But I've been around it. In the military, we train a lot with all our gear on, so you don't do a lot of the flashy stuff. Obviously, there's no head kicks. You do a lot of foot stomp. You know, you've seen the guy. Everybody's seen the war now with all this gear on. You know, there's things you can't do. So a lot of really rough and tumble MMA style is what I like to call it. So, you know, and I train with at a gym in Alabama. My best friend is a police officer, pretty big guy, and he has a team. It's Team Relentless. And so I've trained with them a good bit, and it's just a general all-around mixed martial arts. You know, you take the best of what works from all the arts.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you could just kind of give me like a portfolio of your acting.
Oh, I would love to. Yes.
Yeah. What have you done up until this point, and what are you most proud of?
Oh Lord. I started out several years ago. I have some friends when I got into professional wrestling, in order to get into acting. Pro wrestling was an easy, cheap way in Alabama to get into entertainment, and then I used it as a ladder. So someone noticed me, put me in a terrible camcorder B movie. The guy who edited that movie lives in Oregon, Joe Sherlock. It's a great friend of mine. He's done dozens of these kind of movies, and I, you know, I don't mean to insult him, but we call them camcorder movies. So I flew to Oregon several times to do. I've done. Oh, good Lord, Platoon of the Dead. I've done Deadly Premonitions. I've just finished Blood Creek Woodsman. You know, the typical low-budget zombie slasher horror movies. A good friend of mine in Biloxi, Steve Sessions, has done dozens of movies, put me in a movie with a scream queen, Susie Lorraine. It's called Torment, with a killer clown. For some reason, clowns freak people out, and when they come at you with butcher knives, it was great. Yeah. About a year and a half ago, I moved to Atlanta. The acting is really big over there, and I've been an extra or a bit player on everything in Atlanta. I did, good Lord, The Walking Dead. I've been a zombie in that. I did Drop Dead Diva. I've done Vampire Diaries. I did. I got to act with Betty White in The Last Valentine, the TV. I tell everybody it was Betty White, and then when they see the picture, they say, "Who's that pretty young lady?" I was like, "This is Betty White in World War II, which is the scene I'm in." So I got to see Betty White once, you know. But did that. I did Marry Me with Lucy Liu. I've done a couple episodes of The Game. A lot of just anything. In, the new Footloose is coming out. I'm a paramedic in that. I can't even remember all the things I've done over there, but that's kind of the highlight reel of some of the things. And now down here, I got lucky. I came to Miami, and after a long climb to get my Florida driver's license, yeah, long story, but now I just got cast. I'm playing a mercenary, a racist mercenary militia member for 3 days next week on Burn Notice. And then Friday, I got cast on The Glades. So I think I'm playing a cop on The Glades. Anyway, I'm very excited. It was a long journey, but I'm glad to get here.
Very cool. Just kind of talk about, I mean, you're the main event on this particular
As I found out a few hours ago. Right, right.
Now, first of all, were you hoping, of course, to fight a, you know, nationally known celebrity, i.e., you know, like a Lohan, who was supposed to
now, had Loper pulled out and the main event been me against Lohan, you know, let's face it, I'm an actor. That would give me some more publicity, sure, you know. But I think I'll have a better fight against Lohan. Lohan trains in martial arts. If you've seen the big scary dudes that are with him that have brass knuckles tattooed on their heads, Team Animal. So yeah, he's not. This is not just a celebrity thing. He trains pretty serious, and we kind of side. What, you know, I've met him at the press con. You know, it was cool when my wife was taking pictures of him and me and Lohan, and they're gonna fight, and then you know how it is now that, oh, you and I are gonna fight. Now you kind of, you know, it's a little different tonight when I see him, and then I see his crew, and so you're fighting Lohan. I mean, you're fighting Loper, and I'm, yeah. So you know, it made it a little different tonight, but you know, we're going to see what happens. I know he trains in mixed martial arts. He's got a good background. He's a lot younger. He looks like he's in some pretty good cardio shape. I watched his YouTube video of him training with the guys. So you know, we'll see. We'll see. Can I quote a country song here? One of my right. We've all heard that old great country song that says there might be a little dust on the bottle, but don't let it fool you about what's inside. So I tried to get them to play that for my ring music. I don't know if they will, so you know.
That was very well put. I like that.
Thank you.
And I do recall listening to that song.
Right.
This is an obvious answer, I'm sure, that you're going to give me, but I must ask, the last question would be, I'm sure what you would like to accomplish as a result of this is to get in the ring with one of these nationally known celebrities. Are you hoping, A, that does happen next, and B, will there be a next? Are you pursuing a next fight under Damon?
Oh, of course. I believe he's planning another show down here in August. I don't want to throw any names around, but I believe there's some retired NFL players that are considering getting into this. You know, again, I can't name them. I got tossed a name or two. They were at the press conference, if anyone saw that. But there's several people, you know, I don't know what it is, but people become celebrities and they're willing to do crazy things. I don't know what it is. And so, you know, the problem is I don't know if I'm considered a celebrity or if I'm considered a fighter. I've done both, so, you know, I'm willing to bend the rules, you know, if no one's worried about my background, I'll fight anyone, you know, celebrity or non-celebrity. But, you know, Screech is supposed to be here tonight. I know he did Hulk Hogan's Celebrity Championship Wrestling on that. We've had Michael Lohan. The Confrontation was here yesterday. Frank Sorrentino, he may be getting in this. You know, look at who he's had before: Danny Bonaducci, Jose Canseco. There are some championship belts in this federation, so I think that would look very good around my waist. You know, I haven't had a championship belt since '97 when I won in Nashville the Music City Wrestling Tag Team Championship. So it's been a while. So I would like, you know, maybe we can get a 45 and up category for something, and I can challenge, I don't know, you know, someone. So we'll see.
I hear you.